Hey everyone, welcome back to Patch Lab. Today we're going deep into Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. This isn't just a quick first impression, this is a full review after spending hours exploring its massive world, completing quests, experimenting with builds, and yes, running into a fair share of bugs along the way. So settle in, grab a drink, because we're going to break down everything. The world, the story, the combat, the good, the bad, and whether the stark RPG deserves a spot in your RPG library. Let's get into it. Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon is developed by Questline and published by Awaken Realms, the team best known for their dark narrative-driven board games. The game released in May 2025 after a long early access period and is now available on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. At its heart, this is a first-person open-world RPG, very much in the vein of the Elder Scrolls, but instead of a high fantasy or dragons, this one pulls straight from the grim and twisted world of Arthurian legend. But forget the shiny knights of Camelot or romanticized tales of King Arthur. This Avalon is dying. The land is rotten under the weight of a plague and corruption. Villages are crumbling, forests are haunted, and everything feels like it's teetering on edge of collapse. And looming over it all is the Wyrdness, a supernatural fog that warps, twists, and corrupts whatever it touches, and mutates animals, drives people insane, and reshapes reality into something horrifying and alien. Right away, the tone is different from your usual RPGs. This isn't Skyrim's bright Nordic landscapes or the witches' bustling villages. This is decay, misery, and survival. It's oppressive, heavy, and honestly, it hooked me from the start. You start the game imprisoned, locked away as the plague known as the Red Death rages the land. Things are bleak, and you quickly realize you're not just another prisoner. You've somehow become bound to the soul of none other than King Arthur himself. Arthur becomes a constant presence in your head, a voice that's part guide, part critic, part ghostly companion. He doesn't sugarcoat things. Sometimes he pushes you towards brutal choices, other times he acts like the consequence you're not sure you want. As you begin exploring Avalon, it's clear that the world is crumbling, factions fighting for scraps of power, villages clinging to life in plague-stricken hamlets. The once great knights are reduced to either corpses, corrupt husks, or mercenaries. The lore here is rich. You'll find books, dialogues, and quests that dive deep into Arthurian's myths, but they're all twisted through the dark lens. Merlin isn't the kindly wizard you might expect. He's tied to darker forces. Even Arthur's legacy is a corrupted and broken dream haunting a broken land. One of the quests that stuck with me early on involved a village slowly being consumed by the Wyrdness. You meet survivors begging for help, but the choices you make determine whether you save them, doom them, or simply walk away. There's rarely a good option, just shades of grey. And that's what makes the storytelling strong here. The words is morally ambitious. The game doesn't reward you with shiny, "you're the hero" moment. It asks you to make hard decisions and live with your consequences. Combat in Tainted Grail is first person and you've got a lot of options. If you like melee, there are swords, axes, hammers, daggers, each with their own weight and speed. If you prefer range, there are bows and crossbows. If you want to lean into magic, you can go full spellcaster with devastating, weird powered abilities. You build your character around attributes like strength, dexterity, and spiritually, with skill trees branching into unique playstyles. You want to be a heavy knight in full armor swinging a great sword? You can do that. You want to dual wield daggers like a rogue? Go for it. Or you can lean into sorcery, raining down magical attacks while staying light on your feet. One of the best features is that you can respect your build by using something called an origin potion. This means you're not locked into one path. If you get 20 hours in and realize you'd rather be a mage than a warrior, you can make that change. Now let's be honest, the combat feels clunky at times. It doesn't have the tight precision of Dark Souls or the smooth response of The Witcher 3. It's closer to Skyrim, a little floaty, a little stiff, but still satisfying when you land a heavy blow. The enemy variety helps keeps things interesting. You'll fight bandits, corrupt knights, cultists, and plenty of Crota's weird creatures. One of my early encounters was with this massive twisted beast that burst out of the fog. I was way too under-leveled, got destroyed instantly, and had to come back later after grinding out levels. That sense of I'll be back for you is a classic RPG design, and it works here. Exploration is where Tainted Grail really shines. Avalon is divided into 3 huge zones, each with its own biome, atmosphere, and challenges, and the game is packed with content. There are over 200 quests, from big story arcs to small side tales. When you're exploring, you'll constantly stumble into ruins, caves, abandoned villages, and hidden shrines. Some are short diversions, others turn into sprawling dungeons that go much deeper than you expect. Then once I thought, oh, this will be a quick loot grab, only to end up trapped in a labyrinth full of weird spawn. On top of exploration, there are plenty of systems layered in. Crafting and alchemy let you create potions, poisons, and useful gear. Cooking provides buffs and healing. House decoration gives you a personalized space. Through honestly, it feels more like a side activity than a core feature. What I appreciate most is the exploration feels dangerous. The weirdness isn't just a backdrop, it changes the landscape, spawns tougher enemies, and keeps you on edge, compared to Skyrim, which often felt like power fantasy where you could roam freely. Avalon feels heavier, riskier, like every corner might hide something that wants to kill you. And trust me, it is quite hard in the beginning. As you progress further and level up, it becomes a bit more easier, but again, it does become more harder depending on what you choose to do within your build. There's a lot to love here. Atmosphere. The world is oppressive, grim, and immersive. Walking through fog-covered forests while hearing distant screams is genuinely upsetting. Quest design. Most side quests have depth. They aren't just fetched quests. They often force you to make tough decisions. Lore depth. The Arthurian myth is twisted in fascinating ways. If you like the dark reimaginings of familiar legends, this is a goldmine. Player freedom. Build variety, dialogues, choices, and more give you real agency. Content. Easily 60 to 80 hours worth of gameplay with reliability thanks to choices and different builds. One of the favorite moments came from quests where I had to decide whether to side with a cult worshipper, the Wyrdness, or destroy them completely. Both options had consequences that rippled out later in the story. That kind of death is what makes this game stand out. Of course, it's not perfect. Technical issues. I've had crashes, enemies glitching through walls, and quest markers bugging out. Nothing game-breaking, but frustrating. Reputation. A lot of dungeons and caves look the same after your 10th ruined cave. Full of weird monsters, they start blending together. Narrative pacing. Arthur's presence is strong early on, but fades in the later acts. Some storylines feel rushed or underdeveloped. Animation and graphics. The atmosphere is fantastic, but the character models and facial animation feel dated. Sometimes NPCs look like they're carved from wax. One bug I ran into was hilarious. I killed a bandit and his body ragdolled straight into the sky like he'd been launched by a catapult. Immersive, breaking sure, but also kind of amazing. The good news is the devs are actively updating the game. Patch 1.1 added new game plus, new dungeons, more loot, and quality of life fixes. They've been open about continuing to refine the experience, so a year from now, this game could be in a much better state. Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon is ambitious, messy, and fascinating. When it works, it's one of the most atmospheric RPGs I've played in years. When it doesn't, it reminds you this isn't a polished AAA experience. My Patch Lab score, story and atmosphere is 8.5 out of 10. Gameplay, 7.5 out of 10. Visuals and polish is a 6.5 out of 10. Overall, I would rate it around 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. My final thoughts. If you love dark fantasies, moral choice, and immersive worlds, this game is absolutely worth your time. Just be ready for some rough edges. If you can't handle bugs or jank, maybe wait for some more patches. That's my review of Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. If you enjoyed this breakdown, slap that like button, subscribe to Patch Lab for more deep dive reviews, and let me know in the comments, are you ready to brave the world Wyrdness, or are you waiting until Avalon gets patched? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Velheim, ild, is, sover, falder ind, ja, jordtud skaber af sig. Dinum, gagab, Niflheim, Muspelheim, ild, is, sover, falder ind, ja, jordtud skaber af sig. Dinum, gagab, Niflheim, Muspelheim, ild, is, sover, falder ind, ja, jordtud skaber af sig. Dinum, gagab, Niflheim, Muspelheim, ild, is, sover, falder ind, ja, jordtud skaber af sig.